Sai Ram. I offer my humble and reverential salutation at the lotus feet of our founder Chancellor, Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Respected Vice Chancellor Sir, dignitaries of the Institute, Director of Anantapur Campus, Professor Rajeshwari C. Patel, academicians, doctors, researchers, health professionals, and students. I welcome you all to the second session of International E-Conference on Nutritional and Health Interventions for Pandemic and Post-Pandemic Scenarios, organized by the Department of Food and Nutritional Sciences, Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning. We have three speakers for the second session this afternoon who will be speaking to us on several topics like Ayurveda for immunoprotection, battling the food security in the pandemic, and nutrition and immune function. The first speaker for the second session is Dr. Savitri Vasudev by Kampal. Dr. Savitri Vasudev is an Ayurveda Acharya located in Pune. Madam has been practicing Ayurveda since last 22 years. She did her PhD in the area of Ayurvedic medicine for contractile dysfunctions of the heart. She is the founder member of a registered NGO named Fortitude Counseling and Research Organization and the associate editor to International Journal of Herbal Medicine. She has won the Women Achievers Award in Ayurveda on the International Women's Day at Pune. Madam renders her service as the doctor in charge for the Sri Sathya Sai Seva organization, the Pune branch, which provides free medical service through Ayurveda. Madam also serves as a faculty in Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Biotechnology, Aksai, India. Madam is the recipient of the Award of Excellence as an alumnus of Sri Sathya Sai Bal Vikas program at Prashanti Nilayam, Puttaparthi. Presently, Madam is pursuing a postdoc on Ayurveda and Cardiology as a scientific officer from Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Medical Sciences, Department of Cardiology, Whitefield. We are very happy to have you, Madam, for this conference. I now invite Dr. Savitri, Madam, to take over.
Om Shri Sai Ram. Ayukamayamaneena dharmartha sukha sadhanam ayurvedopadesheshu vidheyaha paramadaraha. Those who desire to live long, those who are very sincere in following their purusharthas, may our dear Sai Dhanvantari shower his immense blessings on us with lots of guidelines on Ayurveda. Sai Ram. We all are uniquely designed by Bhagwan, who can actually, every living creature in that case, are uniquely designed. And we can immediately recognize if it's a pro component or any foreign body entering in our body. The moment it enters, we recognize it as a foreign body and we immediately give a response. First we do is we try to protect ourselves and defend. If the invader is slightly stronger and it tries to infiltrate more and deeper, then it builds a huge army to attack against. Yes, we are going to address this issue totally on Ayurveda principles, which now we will be having an overview on few topics which will cover up for the 40 minutes, which will have defense mechanism and attacking system, process of tissue damage, and strategies to prevent disease progression and enhance the system. And it will be entirely in Ayurveda, role of Ayurveda. Right. So Ayurveda actually has been initiated by Brahma. Brahma Smrutva Yusho Vedam. It is a Veda which has directly come from Brahma. And over the period of time, since it was orally transferred, the knowledge was given to the next generation orally, it could not sustain longer. But due course of time, it was lost. But nearly around 600 BC, Charakacharya restored Ayurveda and documented it in Charaka Samhita. And Sushruta later wrote, he is the master of surgery. So he wrote around 600 BC only. And Vagbhata came little later after the Christ. But all those eminent soul, all those evolved soul had some foresight. As we have the modern technology and which is helping us in diagnosing many things, they already had a foresight and they had a vision how to approach any patient, how what is happening inside them. Because along with the knowledge on Ayurveda, they were already evolved in spirituality and they were knowing all the sukshma shariras in the causal bodies, and they were already evolved personalities who could actually guess what is happening inside and what is the metabolism and where is the morbid condition going on. So that is the thing. In fact, Ayurveda has got a detailed approach. It has a holistic approach. All the samhitas, because we all are not that evolved souls, but after reading these samhitas, it is very clear that the whole granthas, actually Ayurveda has a cordial coordination between the Panchamahakoshas, that is Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Jnana Vijnanamaya, and Anandamaya Kosha. They have a very cordial coordination. Actually, how to be happy, and in fact, how to take care of the gross body, because Sharirameva Khalu Pradhana Yantram. Unless our we are with the we are living, we cannot attain knowledge or we cannot do any kind of service with the subtle and causal body. So how to take care of this gross body, keeping in mind the subtle and causal bodies carefully. Uh, Ayurveda is actually coordinating all these bodies together, and balance of healthy mind and body. Ayurveda is actually it is a balance of samadoshaha, samagnishta, samadhatu, malakriyaha. When there is a balance in the somatic component, that is vata, pitta, kapha, and sapta dhatus, which is actually all the tissues and blood and the blood, amausa, meda, asthi, majja, and shukra, the fats and bones and bone marrow, and the spermatic cells which reproduce. So these are actually, there should be some balance in them. Unless we are having balance in samadosha, samagnishta. Agni is the appetite which we have, the enzymes which are secreted. It has to be in a balanced way. And samadhatu malakriyaha prasanna atmendriya manaha. The atma and indriyas, that is the subtle and causal bodies, should be prasanna. Only then one will be swastha iti avideyate. Only then he will be called as the healthy personality. Right. So bioenergies will have a lot of energies which is in the form of Agnis, in the form of Ojas. Ojas is another component which comes after the germ cell. We will be discussing that because that is an important component which builds up our immunity, right? And it balance, it actually keeps it homeostasis, right? This is what the Ayurveda has. The objective of Ayurveda is swasthasya swasthya rakshanam, maintenance of good health, and vyadhina vyadhi parimokshana. That is preventing the disease progression, right? So, what is immunity? Actually, looking, I mean, as per the conventional science, there are two types of immunity, where innate, which is innate and acquired. I won't go much into detail because I assume that we all know this because it is a conventional science and we all are much aware of it, right? But the moment any foreign body enters us, it first stations in the throat. So the first line of treatment, the first defense is actually responded by the innate immunity, which we are already having inbuilt, and suddenly it responds on the first go. So that is the first line of treatment, which is actually direct, and it doesn't require any antibodies, because antibodies actually are made much later after it recognizes the pathogen, and then it has to get processed, and then the processed antigen has to be presented in front of the T cells, B cells, and then all those communications, and then that will be later, because the antibodies will be produced later. So now this innate immunity doesn't require any antibodies, right? But it actually is very much, it enhances its activity when it has activated C3 protein, C3b protein. It's a protein which is actually produced in the liver, and mannose binding lectin pathway, that we will be discussing it later, right? The acquired immunity is the second line of treatment. As we discussed, it actually communicates after the gene progression, and there's a lot of communication. The interleukins are secreted, and actually after the inflammatory responses, when there is excess of blood supply, and the neutrophils take uptake of all those pathogens, and then it is actually processed with various receptors. So that is a second line of treatment, and then antibodies are produced. So antibodies here are IgG and IgM, usually are used in the acquired immunity, and this is the indirect, since innate is a direct, right? So the proteins which is used in the acquired immunity is C1b, C2b, and C4b, right? So there is a common thing in both. That is, I'm just giving it everything in shorts, because I assume we all know about it much in detail. The common thing is the uptake of these pathogens. Neutrophils, that is the macrophages, microphages, and the lymphocytes. They are all involved both in both the immunity types, right? And the final terminating pathway is the complex protein, which actually is used as the membrane acting complex, that is called, which actually makes it perforates the surface. It perforates the surface, and very brutally it kills the pathogens, the antigens, we can say, especially it kills the antigens. And finally, both the pathways, both the innate and acquired immunity, they finally use the final terminating pathway is the same, right? So according to Ayurveda, what is Vyadhi Kshamatva? Vyadhi Kshamatva is nothing but immunity where we are tolerant to Vyadhi. That is what it means, Vyadhi Kshamatva. And it has been explained in two different ways in Ayurveda. Actually, in Ayurveda, this particular concept is highly evolved, and it's very much developed. And there are loads of chapters written on this. It's not possible to concise everything within 40 minutes and explain and keep it in front. Still, efforts have been made to present at least few readily available herbs which we can get it, and which presently there are lots of institutes or many research institutes who are doing research on those herbs, and we, whatever available data I have, we will be having that in front, right? So the first part of the Vyadhi Kshamatva is action against the virulence of the disease. That is, it reduces the intensity, Vyadhi Kshamatva, right? And it is like actually acquired. We acquire this, and the action taken to stop recurrence, that is Vyadhi Utpatti Pratibandhaka. Vyadhi Utpatti Pratibandhaka Hetu. That is Vyadhi Kshamatva. So that it action when the herbs or food habits which is taken to stop the recurrence, and the action which reduces the medicines or food in the form of various functional food, which is used to reduce the virulence of the disease. So these are the two types of Vyadhikshamatva, which are usually which we try to put it in. But there are many more. Few of them we will be discussing. But mainly, ojas is the main thing which is behind all the Vyadhikshamatva, the tolerance to the disease. That is the about the ojas, all the Ayurveda acharyas, all the granthakaras, Samhita granthas, the authors of classical texts, have explained that ojastu tejo dhatunam shukrantanam param smritam. That is like it is even like it is an essence which is formed from the shukra. Shukra is that which is used for the progeny. So the germ cells, that is pluripotent cells, which are actually the germ cells which actually perform the function of ekoham bahusyam. So there are nearly around 130, more than 130 trillions of cells in our body, which actually is formed from this pluripotent cell and which is actually from the embryonic stage, right? So this ojas is formed from this pluripotent germ cells, and same, these macrophages are all the products of those germ cells, pluripotent germ cells. So Ayurveda may not have actually mentioned macrophages, and lymphocytes, because those days Sanskrit was more prevalent and it was more easily understood. So it's not possible to explain everything, correlate everything, because it is the need of the hour that we have to bring out those science and present it so that we do more research on such topics, right? So this ojas is nothing but bala. Vyadhi bala virodhitvam is the action taken against the virulence of the disease. Vyadhi bala virodhitvam, that is the acquired, and ojas is nothing but the strength, the bala, which is given to the body. If ojas is in required quantity, we have enough bala to withstand any type of disease. And if ojas, there are two types of ojas. One is in the heart, and another is formed after the shukra dhatu, that is the which is actually the germ cells, we can say, which can produce in replicas exponentially. So that way, right? So another thing which actually is dependent on the Vyadhikshamatva is dependent on is the Shleshma, the Ambukarma of the body. So actually the whole body system, the volume of our body, if it is in balanced condition, we will be tolerant to any disease, any morbid conditions. So that is what the classical authors have mentioned about. And there are quantity which they have specified it, that this has to be only this much, the water has to be at a particular, I mean, it should be in a particular quantity. Even ojas has to be ashtabinduatmak, which is para ojas. Apara ojas is different, so its quantity is different. Another thing which is dependent, our Vyadhikshamatva, our immunity is dependent on, is Sathya. There are few things which actually are supposed to be not good for our body, which are antagonistic. So such antagonistic food to someone else will be Sathya, will be okay for them, and they may not develop any morbidity because of that antagonistic food. But those whose Vyadhikshamatva is less, those whose ojas is less, those whose fluid are not balanced, and if they are eating something which are not Sathya to him, which they are not immune to eat them, that particular type of food, they immediately catch the infection or any type of morbidity, right? This is one part of Vyadhikshamatva, one part of immunity, which Ayurveda has try to explain in detail. Actually, Charakacharya has given around more than like 4 separate chapters in Chikitsa Sthan, in the treatment part. The first 4 chapters are completely on immunity, and everything has been explained in the cellular level. If we really try to understand each line, each word of the Sanskrit verse, they have actually mentioned it in the molecular level, the cellular level, and they are communicating within the cells. So, as an anti-inflammatory, as like how they are communicating with each other, that is being proved today, as they are highly like they are activating cytokines and they are anti-inflammatory in nature. That we will be seeing it now, right? So there are 3 types of immunity in Ayurveda. In fact, it is more, but I will be keeping 3. These are the main parts, right? Sahaja, it comes from the Matruja and Pitruja factor. They are inherited, but they express more in the genetic expression. Like, yeah, right. Next is the Kalaja. Kalaja is basically, it's a transition period. The moment any pathogen enters, any endotoxin enters our body, it has a transition period, everybody knows. Like presently, the pandemic, present era, whatever COVID virus is creating menace, and it is relentlessly causing a lot of pain and trouble to all over the world. Actually, this transition period is around after 10 to 14 days, the antibodies are expressed. The COVID-19 antibodies actually present, they show their expression only after the 10th day. So, Kalaja, as per the present day is concerned, Ayurveda has explained about this transition period. Saptahat aushadham kechit ahuranya dashahataha. Some people express it after 7 days. Saptahat. Saptaha is 7 days. And ahur anya dashahataha. Some people express it after 10 days. So this transition period is very crucial for us, so that we actually try to control it well in advance to just block the disease progression. Or there are medicines which are explained after the transition period, and before the moment it enters, there are few medicines which we will be discussing later, right, after this. So transition period is, as per Charaka and Sushruta and Vakvata, it is around 7 to 10 days. And this transition period is explained beautifully, the management in the nutrition, through the food habits, various modified food habits, or various the food which we can slightly change or make the food functional, more active. We can activate our cells and enzymes during this period through food. That's what Kanaja immunity we can make use of, right? Kanaja has another meaning, that usually there are few times, like in the childhood, the immunity is strong, and it builds up, and then after in the middle age, it is like in childhood more kapha is there, in the middle age more pitta is there, and in the old age more vata is there. This he has explained it, when all of them have explained. In the morning, afternoon, morning is more kapha, afternoon is more pitta, and kapha, vata is in the evening. So similarly, the area wise, the region which has a lot of plants, and it is thick foliage, and a lot of and have very fertile land, such place the immunity, the people have good, very good kalaja and sahaja and all immunity. Like they develop acquired and innate, excellent acquired and innate immunities, right? There is a specialized diet, and the third immunity is yuktikrita. Yuktikrita is acquired. using various medicines. Like there are medicines which actually Ayurveda has explained each disease in 6 stages. Especially some of the autoimmune diseases like SLE, rheumatoid arthritis, even some diseases like malignancy, the metastatic growth, all those are explained in 6 stages. That is like Chaya Prakopa, Prashama, Sthana, Samshraya, Vyakti and Bhed. These are the 6 stages where each stage has got specialized treatment. If we actually properly consider each stage and very carefully treat, Ayurveda can restore its knowledge again in today's world, right? So Yuktikrita immunity is such type of immunity which is acquired, and basically we will be discussing on the medicines which activate the B lymphocytes, T lymphocytes, and the mast cells, which already there has been a lot of studies we have done, and these are actually activating, and they are even they are actually secreting even the cytokines, the interleukin 1, 2, 4, and 5, right? Okay, so what are the strategies we will be following? The strategies now, first of all, the pathogen, whatever comes, first it sticks to the mucosal layer of the throat. Because in Ayurveda, the first thing happens is kantha tishthate. It's expressed it that way. So whatever pathogens stick to the throat, what to do when there is a kind of pharyngitis, a kind of throat infection? Immediately, what we are supposed to have, and then the GI tract and the lymphatic system. When we won't know the pathogens or the those have the surface antigens have reached the lymphatic system, we won't be knowing, but we will be considering it as a transition period and we will be treating it, right? Because first 7 days we are supposed to treat it as a transition period. And there are a lot of hepatoprotective medicines, herbs, which actually activate the complement proteins, right? So these the herbs which penetrates the lipid membranes and even the lipopolysaccharides and many other, actually all the medicines, most of the medicines which penetrates the lipid membranes and even the other like gram positive and gram negative bacteria, if actually taken it seriously, if considered seriously, the medicines actually has a very good effect. But we have to know the stage, which stage out of 6 stages, that Chaya Prakopa Prashama, Sthana Samshraya and Vyakti Bhed. All those stages, if we are actually considering it right in time and we are treating it, we can be sure of treating them, right? And the medicines, herbs, which enhance the ozonization, that which actually kills the pathogens, and it actually creates perforation. The medicine itself has got a special. I'm actually working on this particular medicine, the herbs, which are actually it enhances the ozonization, right? And the medicines, there are medicines which activates the decay accelerating factor, which is very important, and that which activates the apoptosis and supports the elimination of toxins. Supporting the elimination of toxins, Ayurveda has given a lot of importance, and we try to use this technique after every stage. After the Chaya stage, Prakopa, Prasara, after every stage, we try to give this type of eliminating toxins, that is eliminating the free radicals and all such type of elimination. We try to do it in different ways. There are decoctions, there are medicines which has to be taken especially with milk and especially with hot water. Why is it so? Why those vehicles are important? That because it has got special activity like this. Like it will penetrate through the membranes, it will have enhance the perforating action, or it will decay. That is because it will act in that particular manner, whether to be effective in GIT, effective in lymphatic system, or in the as a hepatoprotective. So we will be actually formulating different types of medicine and getting the extract in that the particular liquid, that is either water or milk or in the clarified butter, that is called ghee in Sanskrit, ghrutam in Sanskrit, right? So what to do when there is infection? Immediately in kantha deshe vathishthate, the endotoxin, when it enters, they are actually rich in lipids or carbohydrates or lipopolysaccharides. We are supposed to actually give medicine in such a vehicle which will have a covering on these pathogens, endotoxins in fact, and they will be easily taken up by the microphages and macrophages. Mainly the macrophages are more active when these are mixed with honey, like some of the medicines like pepper or the piper nigrum is pepper. Gingiber officinale is a ginger powder. Actually, the medicine uh, with honey should not be like, it should not be wet ginger. The medicine, when wet ginger is taken, is specially meant for extracting it in water. But when ginger powder is used, we have to use honey because that has a special action on the phlegm. It has on the mucosal layer, and it actually cleanses. It is called lekhana karma in Sanskrit. So this lekhana karma, it scrapes the layer and it stops its further travel, and it along with the honey and medicine, it automatically gets cleared. So curcuma, the turmeric, that's usually turmeric here is has to be boiled in milk. That is why, because if mixed in honey, it doesn't have that. It doesn't bind to these endotoxins. So there are popular traditional mixture, the decoctions which many families have, that is with tulsi and many more like dalchini and all that. There are many families who have their patented, their popular combinations, right? That is also okay. But one thing, the moment the pathogens enter beyond, it infiltrates beyond the throat and GIT. One is not supposed to continuously take the popular traditional mixture or these honey medicines because it will have a kind of contraindicated, contradictory function. Like it will increase the heat and the anal passage becomes the ulcerations in the anal area or the heat or the burning sensation that starts. So initially, the moment there is pathogen or endotoxins in the throat, one is supposed to use this. Right. So medicinal decoctions, we have already mentioned Fumaria indica and Cyperus rotundus. This is actually in Sanskrit, Ayurveda, all the three authors have confirmed it. These two are the main medicines for the GIT tract. These decoctions, like Fumaria indica is musta. It is called musta paripatakam. They immediately act and they act on the inflammation. They are anti-inflammatory in nature and they regulate the fever after the inflammation, whatever mechanism, like immediately the body starts getting feverish. It becomes, because it has to, it responds. So to respond to the as an anti-inflammatory and to stop the further progression, these two are the medicines which are normally recommended, and there are people who are already have done a lot of research on these, which the authors have confirmed actually that these are the medicine which should initiate any kind of inflammation. Right. Yes, we heard a lot about fasting in the morning. Ayurveda actually supports the fasting. Langhanam Svedanam Kalaha Yavagvastiktako Rasaha. That's what has been the principal shloka for treating any anti-inflammation, for treating any inflammation. So, Langhanam, we will be discussing, Langhanam now, right? So, Svedanam, uh, Basically, fasting is langanam can also mean lagu bhojanam. Lagu bhojanam, the food which has low calorie diet, or the food which has only the gruels like the moong, the cereal like green moong, all those gruel preparation of the red rice and green moong, all that is used, right? So actually, the thing is, we are trying to allow only specific proteins, not those complex proteins, not those proteins which will actually stop the which will not activate the complex proteins which is required for our pathways, right? So during those 7 days we try to give more of moong dal gruel preparation and restrict proteins and hot water, hot steam inhalation and hot water, all these actually Trishna Kalpalpam Ushnambu Vivekvata Kafajvare and Tatkafam Vilayam Nitva Trishna Mashu Nivardet, actually Nitra Jadya Aruchiharam Prananam Avalambanam, actually it saves the prana. Hot water will save the prana and it will eradicate the pathogens. That's what has been said about drinking hot water, right? Uh, T lymphocytes can be activated with calming. It is called Nilavembu, and they are very popular in activating the T lymphocytes, and they even have actions on the interleukins, right? So B lymphocytes are plumbago zelanica. It's called chitrak in Sanskrit. So which can be used to activate the B lymphocytes. There are so many autoimmune diseases which are concerned, which are actually these two lymphocytes are very much important, right? Mast cell, actually, Piper longum, it's called Pippali. Uh, Piper longum is actually an excellent medicine, but all the authors have asked to use it in a restricted manner because even though it is antihistaminic in nature, it is anti-inflammatory, it has a wonderful effect on interleukin 4, right? It secretes cytokines, right? So Piper longum is excellent medicine presently for the viruses which is prevalent now. Usually Piper longum may not be that effective if we boil it in water. This has to be used in a specified manner. It's called Pippali Rasayanam. It's called Vardhaman Pippali Rasayanam. And Rasayan means rejuvenating therapy. And there are many other Rasayanas like Chavanprash and so many other Brahma Prash, Brahmi Prash and Brahma Rasayanam and Agasti Prash. All those are actually meant to rejuvenate our cells and it will actually induce longevity. So this Pippali Rasayanam is actually meant for, it has to be used in such a way, we have to use 3 Pippalis at a time, boil it in milk and then filter and drink. The next day we are not supposed to take the same quantity. Increase by 3 more, yani, that means 6 Pippalis, then 9, then 12, till 27 Pippalis we are supposed to go. And then come back to 3 Pippalis and then stop taking Pippalis. And it has to be boiled in milk and then taken. That is the ideal way of Pippali Rasayana to actually have an antihistaminic effect, to have an anti-inflammatory effect, and it has wonderful results on the lungs and bronchitis naturally when it has an antihistaminic effect. So Pippali Rasayanam, but has got its own limitations. It should be used only for certain period of time and then stop. Right. Another important thing about the Pippali Rasayanam is once a person has heat or the burning sensation, automatically, immediately we are not supposed to increase it. We have to come back to, we have to go back in a descending manner. Like if we develop heat or burning sensation till 9 Pippalis, we have to come back to 6, 3 and 0. Right. Hepatocytes. There are excellent hepatocytes, lots of medicines which are hepatoprotective in nature, which actually activates the complement proteins which are needed for our innate and acquired immunity. The most important is Stenospora cardifolia, which is also called as the Guduchi or Amritavalli in Sanskrit. So, Swertia tirata and the neem bark. Basically, neem bark is also cardioprotective, and it actually activates the complement protein 3. And even in fact, Tinospora cardiofolia has got effect on all the complement proteins. That's why it is popularly used more. Right. Another thing is about Tinospora, I mean, about the hepatocytes. These medicines, if their extracts are used from the grita, from the clarified butter, these medicines have got it can penetrate into the lipid membranes. So gram positive, gram negative cases, all those can be actually altered or regulated with these medicines, which are extracted in the ghee, but the ghee, formulating the ghee or extracting it in the ghee form has got a special formula. But since we don't have time, almost I have exceeded my time. So opsonization, it's actually called ksharana in Sanskrit. Ksharana, it creates a kind of perforation on the surface and kills the pathogens. And the most commonly mentioned opsonizing agent food is the banana stem. Basically, it has a wonderful effect on the terminal pathways. And Semicarpus anacardium, I'm presently working on this seed, which is called bhallataka in Sanskrit, and it has got very effective, its effect as an opsonized, effect in the opsonization is very potent. It's very good. And the barley burnt ash is called yavakshar. They too are good opsonizing agent. Right? The eliminating agents are, we are much aware of Triphala. So Triphala is the Terminalia, Chebula, Bellerica and gooseberry. That is the Amla, the Amalaki it's called. These decoctions are excellent eliminating agent. They are called Virechaka bhavas. Right. So they eliminate not only the apoptotic matter or whatever it tries to eliminate even the ROS, the reactive oxygen species, the free radicals, all those. So dried black grapes. I'm sorry, spelling fine. So the dried black grapes are excellent eliminating agent, as well as it restores the energy back. So it's a wonderful eliminating agent, right? But the dried black grapes are actually supposed to be extracted. Its values are more when it is boiled in water, soaked and boiled in water. It becomes more effective. So there are many more in the line which we can discuss on, but I have already exceeded the time. I'm sorry. So I take your time. We can discuss it anytime later. Saira.
Thank you, madam, for your enlightening speech on the systems approach of Ayurveda for immunoprotection. You have reiterated the lines that are present in Charaka Samhita, Swastasya Swasthya Rakshanam, Aturasya Vikara Prashamanam, meaning Ayurveda Shastra aims at keeping a healthy person healthy and managing or curing diseases that manifest in a person, both in the mind and in the body. Before we conclude this session, can I ask you some questions, madam?
Yes, ma'am.
One of the viewers have asked us, how can one with mental health care issues be still in the corona era? What does Ayurveda say about it?
Yes. Ayurveda starts with the shloka Ragadi Rogan Satatanu Shaktan. Ragadi Roga is that which is Kama Krodha Lobha Moha Madamatsarya. These are the initial thing which when people are continuously pondering over or brooding over it. Ragadi Rog. Raga is the attachment and Lobha, Moha, Kama, Krodha, all those attach, all those Shadrapus, when we are encouraging them, then the later Satatanu Shaktan Aseshakaya Prasrutan Aseshan, then immediately then the morbidity starts. The moment we have all those Ragadi Rogas, the morbidity automatically starts. So to stop that, we are supposed to actually have an equipoise equanimity, that we everything is happening on its own. We are not supposed to ponder over it or get disturbed by that, because we have to always think that we are not the doer. It is someone else who is getting things done from us. We are just an instrument. That's what is told in Ayurveda, that we have got rights only to take care of the body. Everything, the Navatvaras automatically has its own function, and it performs its own function. We have to only sincerely concentrate on performing our Purusharthas, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. So, Ayurveda actually it actually links with the spiritual well-being. So, mental happiness plays an important role, and in this pandemic days, we are to bring equipoise. First of all, we are not we cannot always do meditation. First, fine, we have to do meditation, but every time we do, if we are thinking that we are not doing for ourselves, we're doing for the Lord, automatically our mind changes, whether we are serving our people or whether we are serving the society. Automatically, that happiness is changed. So, this is what is recommended as from Ayurveda. Instead of simply getting panicky or I will get the infection and I might die, any time when the time comes, it's going to happen. But taking care of the body foremost, first thing we have to do is take care of the body. Take care of yourself. Because unless we are there, we cannot take care of our mind, buddhi, and all that. So after only after we take care of ourselves, our health, only then we can perform all our activities, and with that we are supposed to be uh, uh, only then we will be happy, right? So we need not be panicky or think that we are going to be infected.
Thank you, madam, for answering the question. You have enabled us to understand the ways of managing our health through the lens of Ayurveda. I thank you once again for being with us in this session.